I want to talk today about a story that I haven't started writing yet, but I want to actually start writing very soon called Soul Program or Soul Programming. The title is still kind of in the works. It's still kind of up and down, and I'll figure it out later. Originally, the story was called Nighthawk. Now, for those of you who remember my earlier stories, Nighthawk was a story I wrote, I think, around the early 2010s, which was a story of a girl who was tragically severely injured, fatally injured rather, in a terrorist attack, but she was recovered by a special organization that rebuilt her using biomechanical engineering and turned her into a super soldier as a result. But she doesn't like having to be a super soldier. She misses her family. She misses being a regular girl. She misses being able to live her life the way she wanted to. And thus the story is about her not only fulfilling her mission that she's been programmed to do, but also trying to recreate her life, rebuild her life, get back in touch with her family. And I'll admit the big problem with that story is, like many of my early stories, it was a cool concept, but I had no idea where to take it. I had no idea what direction I wanted it to go in, and I didn't know how I wanted it to end. So it died very early on. I think I only got like 5 or 6 chapters in, and then it was done. Like, I don't have any other ideas for it, which is unfortunate because I think it could have gone somewhere really cool. However, from the ashes of that story came a brand new story, which I'm planning on writing very soon, which I just told you is called Soul Programming. The story is somewhat similar, but in a totally different vein. It's very funny how you can have the concept for one story, and then from that concept, you build something almost totally different. So, in this story, humanity is several years in the future, and an alien race has invaded. Think something along the lines of the Tyranids from Warhammer 40k, or the Bugs from Starship Troopers, whichever one you want to call it. But they are basically a large insectoid-style alien race which feeds on the biomass of mortal creatures. They feed on other animals and races to fuel themselves. So again, very similar to the Tyranids, I would say. Humanity is trying to fight them. The problem is, every time they send soldiers out to fight these bugs, even if we kill a few of them, they just end up eating the soldiers we send at them. So to try to fight them, we try using robotics, machine, AI. And through this, we see both the benefit and the negative of the AI machine. On the one hand, AI can be very useful because the bugs can't eat these. They can't consume them and continue to fuel themselves through these robots. But the downside is, as anyone who tries to use AI software will attest, they sometimes can be glitchy. They don't always give you what you want. They can be very difficult to control. You need Wi-Fi. You need to have strong connection. Like, all these things were limiting what the robot soldiers could do, and thus we created very limited capabilities through these robot soldiers. However, mankind has decided they're going to try one more little test. They've decided to try integrating human biology with machine, and they've created a perfect combination of these two entities, which we are calling V7, or Valerie, as she calls herself. And to give you an idea of what she is, if you know Genos from One Punch Man, think that, just a female. Essentially, that was what I even told Jay when he drew the art. Think Genos, but female, and he honestly loved the idea and ran with it. And I could see her fighting like Genos, having very similar functions as Genos. Like just seeing Genos fight in One Punch Man, I was kind of like, ooh, that's cool. My childish mind just kind of clapped his hands and said, yay, that's cool. But it's more special than that. So here's essentially what happens. On one of her first field missions, she goes out and performs admirably well. Because she's not confined to having to respond to AI programming or to machine intelligence, she can think for herself and act accordingly, though she is bound by her orders and programming. However, at one point when she's told to fall back because they're going to lead the aliens into a trap, she suddenly notices civilians that are in the line of danger. They're going to be attacked and killed by the bugs. She's told to ignore them and to fall back anyway. But something in her resists this command, and she runs to go defend them and uses all of her power to hold off the bugs so that they can get away. She manages to succeed and win, but this causes a lot of problems for both her and her handlers. Problem number one, she should not have been able to defy her orders like that. I mean, yes, she has human biology, but her brain should be bound by her orders. How was she able to resist? How was she able to act on her own and resist her programming? Number two, why did she want to save civilians? Her only motive should be to destroy the bugs. Why would she care about civilians? Why would she want to save civilian lives? She doesn't know them. She doesn't have any relation to them. Why would she care? That implies empathy, which machines shouldn't have. And third and finally, why does she want? Machines shouldn't want anything. A computer doesn't want anything. A pair of scissors doesn't want anything. A phone doesn't want anything. They are just tools to be used, and that's what she's supposed to be. She's a weapon. A gun does not want to shoot. The person carrying the gun wants to shoot, and they are the one who tells the gun when to shoot. And that's the case here. So why on earth did she act on her own? And here's the funny thing, she doesn't know either. When they ask her questions and try to debrief her, she just says, I don't know. I don't know what happened. I don't understand what happened. And she starts asking questions that she never thought she'd answer. Who am I? What do I want? Why do I want it? And so she decides that she's going to do a little bit of digging herself and discovers she actually was someone before this. She was actually a human woman before this with a family and a life, but she died, and her body has been used to create V7. Now, she doesn't know her family, and she doesn't feel any intrinsic internal connection to them that she can understand, but what she does understand is maybe there's some kind of connection between her and this family that she could try to understand and figure out what's going on. She also finds out something else. Because of these problems with her that they can't identify, her handlers have decided to scrap her and move on to the next phase of their plan against the bugs, and she finds out that they're planning a huge attack on the bugs, which, while it could be very successful, could cost millions of lives, and she's not going to let this happen. She's decided she's going to stop them, so she abandons her facility and goes out to try to stop this from happening so that she can take out the bugs and save all these people who could potentially die. So now she's on the run from her handlers who are trying to catch her. She's out trying to kill the bugs who are invading Earth, and she's trying to solve the question, who am I? Why do I want? Why do I feel? Do I have a soul? And that was the big question that me and Jay were playing with while we were discussing this story. What does it mean to have a soul? Like the idea, I think of it like this. If you're laying at an operating table with your brain exposed and the doctor tells you raise your arm and you do, okay, you did that. You wanted to do that. You chose to do that. But if the operator uses some kind of messing with your brain to force your body to raise your hand and they ask, did you just raise your hand? Say, well, I didn't want to, but something made it happen. That's not the soul. That's something controlling you. That's a puppeteer action. The difference between wanting to act and not wanting to act but being made to act, where does the soul come into that? Where does our intrinsic want and will come into that? And that's kind of what we're playing with this. And I think it's going to be very fun to explore, while also exploring, fun, cool robot combat action scenes, awesome fighting. I got some cool ideas for that too. But the chance to really, one thing that I want to really make clear is I don't just write stories for the action, It'd be so easy to write this story or the Tale of Tomiki or any other story and just say, oh, cool, fight, pew, pew, bam, bam, bzz, that kind of thing. You could do that. But I always try to go further than that. I try to explore other things besides just bang, bang, pew, pew, I'm so cool. I want to explore character, emotion, theme. I want to kind of dive into the depths of what a character is feeling and what they're going through. We have a girl who is essentially a machine, an android, a robot, but she wants things. Why does she want things? What does it mean to want? What does it mean to have a soul? And we can explore that through a character that is essentially a superhero. And I thought that would be a really cool thing to try. And that is what this story basically is. So now in all these videos, I try to do a what's good and what's bad about the story. Can't say a whole lot good or bad about it yet because I haven't started writing it yet. But if I was to give anything good, I would say it is a testament to how you can take a story that, in all honesty, didn't have a lot going for it. I didn't put a lot of thought into it. I didn't have a lot planned. That was Nighthawk. But I took from that concept something else and kind of built something new from it. So I would say if you're an up-and-coming writer and you're very disappointed in a story that you started and you can't believe how bad it turned out, don't lose faith in it. You can turn it into something good later. Don't ever feel like you just need to totally throw away everything that you don't like. Take what you don't like, see what didn't work, and see what you can take from it that does work. And then the bad, I can't say a whole lot bad yet. I guess if I were to say anything bad, it would be, remember patience, because I don't want to rush into this. It will take me time to really plot out this concept and what I want to approach with it. And especially if you're going into a theme that can be very heavy-handed, like ideas about the soul, well, that can be, pretty crazy stuff to go into. That's dipping into theology and metaphysics and philosophy and stuff like that. That's going to be heavy stuff. And it's stuff that I'm not sure I'm 100% qualified to touch on myself, but hey, that's part of the fun, getting to explore this stuff. But anyway, what do you guys think? Let me know down in the comment section what you think if you even watch these videos. I know no one watches these videos. I'm talking to empty air right now, but I still wanted to make this video. So hope you guys enjoy, those of you who watched it, and I will see you in my next video. Take care.